All right, welcome to chapter 3. And today we're going to start with our memorabile dictu, which is homo sum, humani nihil a me alienum puto. Okay, and so what that means is I am a human being. I think that nothing is foreign to me. Okay, and so what that means is it's, I'm going to write down here, evidence for Terence's intense, whoops, I should probably put that word together because it is one word, right? Intense interest in human character. Okay, we talked a little about Terence last chapter, but maybe you need to remember that Terence is a Roman playwright. Okay. Whew. This thing's starting to wig out on me a little. Okay. So, and this kind of, to me, says, everything that humans do and feel is familiar to me, maybe. Okay. So let's talk about the genitive case, the vocative case, and also we're going to talk about prepositional phrases. Just a brief introduction to prepositional phrases, because prepositional phrases, they require a little more in-depth study than we're ready to get into. Okay, so a couple of things about the genitive case. Okay, now a noun that is in the genitive case usually modifies another noun, and specifically it shows possession. Okay, MC's pens, the books of the Latin students. Okay, those things show some sort of possession. With the books, probably not permanent possession, but you know what I mean. Okay, a noun, this is very important. The noun in the genitive case will follow the noun that it owns. Okay, so let's talk about, though, before we get into what it looks like in Latin, let's talk about how we're going to translate this when it comes to English. Okay, now we've already been learning about of. Okay, so the books of the students. Okay, now what I'm getting ready to get into is something that not all of you fully comprehend or understand. Okay, so I would seriously just consider using of, unless you are for sure that you know when to use apostrophe s or s apostrophe. Okay, so apostrophe s is for singular. So let's look at the students' books. Okay, this is a singular student. Okay, notice that the S is separated off from your word. Okay, you've got that apostrophe, it breaks it up. Okay, so that means that S apostrophe is plural. Okay, so then we would have the students' books. Okay, notice that the S making it plural is attached to the word. Okay, so just, be careful. Now, so we've got pater aiskini. Okay, and remember, I think it was in chapter. It was this chapter. It is going to be this chapter, sorry. That we have this guy named Aiskinos. Okay. He's going to be one of the characters in our little play. All right. So this is genitive singular. Okay. Now, Aiskinos is just one guy, so it could never be nominative plural. So definitely pay attention to your proper nouns. Okay, so we can either use of, or we can use this apostrophe S. Okay, and so I'm going to use of. And I'm going to say the father of Aiskinos. Okay. Now, on my second example, notice I have puellarum. Okay, this one is genitive plural. So that means that we can either use of, or we can use S apostrophe. And this time I'm going to use S apostrophe because I know how to use it. Okay, so we're going to say the girl's father. Now, you could have also said the father of the girls. Whoops. There we go. All right. So, genitive. Just a reminder, the noun in the genitive case follows the noun that it owns. Okay? So now we're going on to the vocative case. And this is your sixth case. All right. We had nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. Okay, and these were the 5 main cases. And I told you at the time that we had 2 others, and that one we were going to learn very quickly, and the other we're not even going to learn until we hit Latin 2. Okay, so this one is 6th. It is used to address someone. This comes from the Latin verb voco, which means to call. Okay, so think about it when your mom or your dad addresses you by your name. Stephen, stop doing that. I don't even know if I have anybody named Stephen. Stephen, stop doing that. Okay, so it's when someone is being addressed. Okay, and so for my example here, I've got 2. We're going to have mi filii, and so this would be my son. Okay, and then I believe mi bone vir was one of your vocab words. So I'm going back. It wasn't a vocab word, it was one of the reading words. That's what it is. And so mi bone vir is my good fellow. Okay. You possibly could even make a case for sir. Okay. Now, usually, okay, there's always a usually. Usually, it's the same as the nominative form, whether it be singular or plural. Usually, it's just the same, and it makes it nice and easy for us. Okay, but the exceptions exist in the second masculine. Okay, and mainly it's about the singular. Okay, so for example, nominative singular, amicus. In order to make it vocative singular, we're going to take the us off, so we'll have amic, and then we're going to add the letter e for amice. Okay, now one other thing you need to know, it is usually separated off by commas. Okay. So as I know we have not translated this story yet, here's the one that I can find from our story that's coming up. Okay. Salve, mi boni wir. And so salve means hello, my good fellow. Okay. So vocative nouns are pretty easy to spot, which is nice for us. Okay. All right, so we're now moving on to prepositional phrases. Okay. Now, as we've been learning our cases and the endings, you guys are generally able to tell me that a prepositional phrase can either be accusative or ablative. Okay. Now, most prepositions will use the ablative case. Okay. Now, one thing you need to know, okay, is, and I think we've talked about it, but we'll talk about it again. What the hey? When you look up a preposition in the back of your book, the entry will kind of look like this. Okay, they're going to give you the preposition. They're going to tell you the case that it needs. Okay, and then they're going to tell you the definitions. So a/ab needs an ablative noun to complete the prepositional phrase. Ad sorry, dropped my pencil. Okay, odd is plus accusative though. Okay, and it can mean to or towards. Your book says some other things too, but I like to or towards. Okay, so in plus ablative means in or on. Okay, so for example, in rivo is going to be in the stream. Okay, now cum is another one that uses an ablative noun. So cum means with. Okay, and so cum fratre meo is with my brother. Okay, now we've got a little extra room, and so we're going to talk about this again, but it's going to be something that we're going to have to repeat a lot. Okay, so in plus an ablative noun means in or on. However, if you were to go look up in the back of your book, you would actually see two. Okay, so in is one of those kooky little things that can be used with both. Okay, so in, when you have an accusative noun, is into. Okay, so I'm going to use my example from above, in rivo. Okay, so this is an ablative singular ending. Okay, in rivo means in the stream. Okay, in rivum, okay, this is the accusative singular ending, means into the stream. Okay, so this is something that is going to cause a lot of headache and frustration for some of you. So you need to start thinking about in, and when you come across the word in Latin, you need to stop and look at the noun that it's paired with to see which definition you're going to be using. Okay, as always, you have questions. You have questions. I have answers. more than likely. Okay? Let me know. I'll try to help you. Have a wonderful day.